In the previous tutorial, we fixed constant sounds, noises that run through an entire clip or a large segment of the clip where they're sort of a constant hum, things like that. In this tutorial, we're going to focus on discrete sounds, individual noises that you identify, select, and then fix in some way. Either you reduce the volume on it or you do something called an auto heal. So let's just get to work on that, and to follow along, go get noises music.wav inside the working files noises subfolder. All right, here we are inside the spectral frequency display, which is the go-to display when you're doing noise repairs. And we'll start by listening to this one here, which has a couple of clicks in it. To listen to it and watch it, it's good to zoom in on it. So I'm going to right click here on the time ruler and zoom in on it all the way across like that so we can see all of it. There we go. We can already get a sense that probably something's going on here by these little vertical bars that are popping up here. So let's just listen and see what we can hear, and also look for where the noises are. There's one right there. Another one right there. Another one here. And another one right there. Okay, we got 4 noises here that we're going to try to fix. And how do we fix them? Well, there are several ways to do that, but basically you need to select the noise and then do something to it. Now, sometimes you can select the noise and reduce the volume, but if you reduce the volume of the noise, you also reduce the volume of the whole area there and make the music kind of go along at one volume level and then suddenly dip way down and then come right back up again. So reducing the volume is not usually an effective thing to do when you got a big, tall piece of noise like that. So another thing you can use is something called auto heal. It's just this really great tool inside Audition. It's like worth the price of admission. What happens with auto heal is that you identify a noise by selecting it, and then you click auto heal, and what it does is it crossfades from the audio on this side and the audio on that side and deletes the stuff inside it. And with music, that can be pretty effective because the music can be kind of continuous. And so this sound over here may be similar enough to this sound that when you crossfade them, you can't tell that something's been removed. It doesn't always work that way, but at least it gives you a pretty good crack at it. So how do you select things? Well, there are several ways to select. This is the time selection tool, and that selects the entire time range, which usually is more than you need to select when you're dealing with auto healing. So we won't use that one most of the time. Here's a marquee selection, and if you worked with Photoshop, you're used to marquee selection where you can select a rectangle like that just by clicking and dragging. That's marquee selection. The lasso tool lets you click and select more complex areas where you can draw it around like that. It's freehand drawing around a sound. And then finally, there's something called the Spot Healing Brush tool, which is not so much a selection as it is an immediate healing tool. When you draw something and you stop drawing, it immediately attempts to heal it, to do that crossfade. So we'll use that one as well. But we'll start with the marquee selection because that's really the go-to tool when you do this kind of noise fixing. You can sort of see this noise here. So I'm going to marquee select that by clicking and dragging right down to around here, maybe just about down into where the music is. We know that we're going to crossfade the music on both sides here, so we shouldn't be losing any music in that area, but just beyond the edges there. And if I think maybe I went too far or didn't go far enough, I can always adjust the edges here. If I think I'm too high or too low, I can always pull these guys up down. We're not locked in time here. Once we do this, we can always make some adjustments after the fact. Okay, there it is. We're ready to go. Let's auto heal this thing. And auto heal, while it's an effect, is not in the effects menu. It's in the favorites menu. And there it is right at the top where it belongs, but it is alphabetical, but it's coincidental that it's at the top, but you use it so often that it's nice to have it right there. I click auto heal, and when I click it, watch what happens here when it comes back after it's done its work. And there it is. Look, things are different there. That bright area is now darker. So let's just play this and see what it sounds like. Well, it did kind of dip there. The sound dipped, but the click is gone. So let me just undo that by pressing Control-Z here in Windows, Command-Z on Mac. I'll do it again. I'll lift this thing up so we're not dipping into the music too much now. And I'll do auto heal again, going favorites, auto heal. Except this time when it's done, I'm going to raise the volume a little bit. We sort of reduced some volume by doing the auto heal, so I'll bring it up maybe about 3 dB, 4 dB, something like that. And let's see what that sounds like now. So it got a little bit of a buzz because of removing the click, but we did get rid of the click, and that's always kind of an issue, you know. When you remove something, you typically cause some problems down the road, but at least we got rid of it. Let's move on down to this one here. This last one. I'll marquee select that one as well. We'll try it again. Maybe pull it over a little bit to the left there, a little bit to the right. Auto heal again. Favorites, auto heal. Here we go. Now you can see it's not as bright as before, which means it's not as loud. And maybe I'll bring it up a few dB as well. Maybe bring it up about 3 plus or so and see what that sounds like. Wow, much better. You heard this click over here, but not this one. Let's try that again. Just a slight click coming out of the left channel right up here, probably in this area here. We can probably get rid of it by doing an auto heal there, but I think we'll just be happy with that. Let's switch over to the lasso tool here and try to deal with this guy, because it's kind of a convoluted shape to it. So we'll just draw the lasso around it. Notice when I start drawing here, the previous selection is unselected. You can only have one selection at a time here. We'll lasso just that part there. And now I'm going to use the auto heal again, except, you know, we're using auto heal so often, it would be really a whole lot better if we could have a keyboard shortcut. So to give it a keyboard shortcut, we go to Edit, or on a Mac, you go to Adobe Audition and then go down to Keyboard Shortcuts. And you look for the Favorites menu right there. And there's Auto Heal right at the top. And I want to give it a nice, easy keyboard shortcut. So how about something like F12? Well, I got to say, let's add the keyboard shortcut. And it's ready for me to add it. So I just press F12. And yeah, that may not be a good idea. It says that it's used for another command. And so I don't want to mess with the other commands here, so I'll undo that. So let's try another one. I'll go to Add, and let's try my initial here, Control J. And that works, so that's good. So we'll say OK. And let's just check out the menu now, and lo and behold, it's Control J. So I'll just click away and we'll test it. I'll just make sure it is Control J by going Control or Command J if it's on the Mac. And it's done. Let's hear what it sounds like. Wow. So that was really good. That lasso really helped us really nail that one carefully. Just the one part that was the offending part. Now we're going to try the Spot Healing Brush tool. Now, Spot Healing Brush tool has a certain size to it. So if you hover here, you can see what the size is. And you can adjust the size right there if you want to make it smaller or larger. We'll stick with the default there for about 30. I'm going to try to do an auto heal for this thing. Now watch, I'll just paint on it. I'm painting this auto heal in that area there, right there. And when I let it go, it tries to do an auto heal just like that without my having to go to the menu. Let's hear what it sounds like. Wow, that's pretty amazing. The little auto heal tool, what a nice little guy to have in your quiver of tools. Move on down back here to this one, which was the vinyl record noise. If I click here, I'm not going to auto heal there. In the preferences, you can select that if you just click, it won't start actually applying anything. So let's click there to get my current time indicator there, and then I'll play, see what happens. Okay, a lot of clicks and pops there, but the static creates problems when you try to start making some corrections. So let's get rid of the static first, and then we'll worry about the clicks and pops. So to do that, I need to make a time selection over here and then use the noise reduction tool. So I go to Effects, Noise Reduction Effect, that is. There we go to the noise reduction effect. I need to capture a noise print, so I'm going to change over to the time selection tool because I need to really get the whole thing, not the spot healing brush anymore. So I select that area there for my noise print. Let's listen to it to make sure it is really a good noise. Sort of hear the static there. It's not that prominent, but we'll just accept that. And we'll go capture the noise print there. And now I'm going to select the whole segment here, because I really do want to fix this before I start to work on the noises. There we go. Let's just try to settle on some parameters here, and then once we do, I'll apply it. So I'll just preview it for a while here. I like that. Actually sounds pretty good. So I'll click Apply to apply that noise reduction. And it takes away a lot of the static there. You can see it has not all that sort of dusty looking stuff there. Now we can deal with individual scratches a little bit. Let's try this. Right there's a little click. What about here? Right there's a little click. Let's use the spot healing brush tool right there and see if we can sort of fix this guy. Try it again. Still a little bit left over, but you get the sense of how it works here. That's a pretty big kind of, when you hear the kind of scratchy sound there, we'll try the spot healing brush on this area. Fill it in like that. That's a lot of work there when it's that wide. Let's see how that sounds. That removed a lot of the music, so I'm not sure that was that effective. Let's try one more here with the marquee selection tool. Let's see if we have any more to listen to here. not too bad. Let's try it at the beginning then. I want to get rid of this kind of scratchy noise at the beginning. It starts scratchy and then the music comes in. So I want to just get rid of it. I don't want to heal it. I want to just get rid of it altogether. So I'm going to use the lasso tool for that and select that whole area there, right? Just that staticky stuff at the beginning that doesn't have any music in it, essentially. And I don't want to heal it. I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to take it down to a really low level. I could make it silent, but we'll just take it down a whole bunch here. Now let's listen to it. So hardly any static at the onset, so that way it's a cleaner onset. So that's the basic process when you've got some static. Get rid of the static first and then worry about the individual sounds. Let's move on to this coughing stuff. This one is going to be virtually impossible to fix. It's so prominent. Especially since they cough a lot, these guys. They're really serious coughers. So we're going to work on the most discreet one, the one that is not so long and not so powerful, this last one here. So we'll just remove the whole thing. I'm going to take my lasso here and round that guy up. And we'll try auto heal. Now that's a wide selection. The auto heal really has to work hard to make that go away. And I'm thinking I need to pull it a little bit farther left. So I can pull it left. I can just expand the lasso a little bit there and pull it down a little bit too. All right, now I'm going to try auto heal by going Control J here in Windows. It would be Command J in a Mac. And let's see how long that takes. A few seconds. Let's see what it sounds like when we're done. All right. Yeah, boy, oh boy. Hard to get rid of that whole big cough, but you at least get a sense of how that works. So let's move on to the cell phone ring over here to the right. You can see those two parallel lines there. There's a cell phone. Let's listen to that. And another over here. So how do we get rid of those guys? If we do an auto heal on this, that's pretty wide. And, Audition doesn't have too much trouble with that. It does take a little bit longer to fix these really wide things. But since they're so discrete, the short frequency range here, maybe we can try to just marquee select it and work on it that way. And so to do that, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, there like so I can see them a little better and work on them individually. So I'm going to take a marquee selection here just for that fella and do that. And if I do auto heal now, I'll do Control J and see how that works. Lengthy selection. There you go. That's one. Let's try this one down next to it. Bring it a little bit farther. Notice that there's still some audio left inside there, and there's kind of a gap where the audio dropped. We'll try Control J on that one as well. Okay, and I see one little thing up here too. I'm going to try this without fixing that though first. Let's see what it sounds like. Boy, just the faintest little sound there, probably from this thing. So I'm going to try the spot healing brush on this guy right there. I'm going to expand the size of the brush a little bit. It's kind of narrow there. Let's just bring it up and try it right there and see how that works. There you go. And it's taking its time there. I'll just fast forward here for you. Okay, wrap that up. Let's try that now. And just a faint little sound up here too, but I get the sense for how that works. Let's use the marquee selection tool for this one. Now this one, the frequency kind of blends together, so I wouldn't do them separately. We'll just try the marquee selection again and pull it out like so. Got a little marker. We'll go past the marker there. And let's try that again by auto healing by Control J. Okay, let's see what that sounds like. I still got that sound. It's really hard to get rid of all of it, but you can sort of begin to see that you might want to try to do a little more repair work here and repair work there, but at least you're getting rid of the preponderance of the sound. And there's always this balancing act. How much of the sound do you want to reduce versus how much of the music do you want to alter? But I think you can see that there are multiple ways for you to remove individual unwanted sounds here in Audition.